Hey mamas, and welcome back to Workin' Mama. This is part 2 of my birth story that I'm sharing with you. So part 1 I just released 2 weeks ago, and where we left off was the end of my son's birthday. So we had a lot of ups and downs. I'd encourage you to watch that one before you watch this one if you haven't done so already. And wanted to give a couple of warnings before we go into the video. There is probably a couple of TMI moments where it's just personal information about my recovery and healing process and things going on with my body as part of my postpartum experience. So just wanted to put that warning out there. Also have some ups and downs emotionally as I'm kind of talking through. It's a lot of me just talking about what's going on and giving updates throughout my postpartum experience. So wanted to share that ahead of going into this video. And this is again part 2 of my birth story with my son Quinn. Enjoy. Hey mamas, want to give you an update. It is day 2 and it's about 6:45, I think, in the morning. So interesting night, different experience than my first pregnancy for sure. Not having the baby in the room has been really kind of strange. He's still in the NICU, but seems to be doing pretty well, and they told us last night when we visited him that I should be able to hold him today. So very much looking forward to that. I've been getting up every couple of hours to pump to try to get have my milk come in and have some colostrum supply for baby when baby's able to take that. So this morning had some medicines. I still have this IV thing in the block so they can easily administer those things. This is kind of probably one of the most uncomfortable thing I have going on right now. I just took out the catheter. That was not bad at all to take out. I will say that I just got up and walked quite a bit, like more than I have done so in the past, whatever it's been, 8 hours. I don't know how long it's been that we've been here. I guess almost maybe like 20. And the incision site hurts, but besides that, it's really only kind of the stretching of it. And I think, because I'm still on a lot of medicine, but it's been pretty good. I do feel like I've been healing a little bit faster this time around than my last C-section, so that's good. My pain level is not very high right now. Everything seems manageable, not bleeding a ton. When I took out the catheter, that didn't hurt at all. Felt like nothing. No big deal whatsoever. So we're just kind of trying to relax and recover and go and see baby as we can and keep you updated. Hey mamas, I realized I never did a check-in for day 2 at the end of the day, so I thought I would do one real quick while I am pumping. Trying to get some colostrum for baby, which I don't think they're really feeding him yet. Hopefully they're saving it and going to be giving him some tomorrow. But we don't have a ton of news today. Everything is pretty much the same as yesterday. He's still in the NICU, but I did get to hold him twice. We got to do some skin to skin, which was wonderful. Baby snuggles are the best. I kind of took a little nap, dozed off a little bit with him on my chest as well, so very sweet and very much needed. Remind me why I'm here and kind of reconnect myself to the situation. In terms of me and my healing, so I got to take the IV out of my hand, thank goodness, earlier, because I hated it, administering medicine through it. Oh my gosh, it just hurt. I think that vein just had enough of whatever one they selected, so got to do that. Like the 24 hours since giving birth had passed, so with that kind of milestone, some changes came, like taking out that IV, changing my medicine, so now I'm not getting anything through an IV. I'm just taking oral pills for pain management and everything. They have me kind of flip-flopping between ibuprofen and Percocet as needed, which I have needed it so far, but I'm only taking the one Percocet as opposed to 2 that they've been offering. I've had a couple more hospital meals. Nothing really worth noting there, except that it's very inconveniently timed, it has been, and basically as soon as I've been having the food delivered, I've not been in the room because that's usually the time that I'm able to actually be with Quinn. So I've basically been eating the cold food when I get back every time, which is not the best, but it's certainly worth it to see the baby. So we're going into day 3 because it's past midnight now, and I'm awake pumping. I would not be awake otherwise, but wanted to keep going and try to get some supply established. Hopefully my milk will come in soon. Right now I still have colostrum for sure coming out of there. And the plan for tomorrow is a little more of the same. One thing that did improve today from Quinn's perspective is they switched him from, I guess, a regular CPAP machine to a bubble CPAP, which I really don't know like anything about, other than they said that that's a good thing, that shows some progress. So they were able to take out one of the machines in his little room. So that's good. And I think the hope is that today we'll kind of be able to decrease the levels of oxygen that he's receiving, or maybe the amount of pressure of air that he's getting, something like that. And that he can't have food until he's off of the CPAP machine completely. So hopefully we can get there on day 3. And then that would be a really good sign. And so they just want to give him food first, which I think is my colostrum that I've been pumping. See how he tolerates it. So hopefully he doesn't throw it up or something. And what else? And then after that, kind of sits well with him, and he's okay and remains stable, and it seems like his lungs are functioning well and that he's able to keep food down and those things. After that point, we would then evaluate and see if we can do food administered orally, which could be breast or bottle. And I'm definitely wanting to breastfeed. So we'll see how it goes. We'll keep you updated. Hey mamas, good morning. It is day 3 for me. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. My nurses just had shift change, so I just got vitals checked. I did a pumping session when I woke about
half an hour or so ago, I realized I forgot to say one more thing, or actually two more things that happened yesterday on day 2 postpartum for me. So one is that I was able to take a shower. I think I was able to do that earlier than I did, but I just didn't feel like it or want to. It went well. For a C-section recovery, there's like special soap that they give you to just spray on and let like run down your body. So that's a little bit different than a normal shower that you might take. Also, there's like this yellow, I don't know if it's glue or like some sort of medicine they put on you, like antiseptic, I don't know, to keep the area clean or whatever, but that is hard to get off. I couldn't get it off with just regular soap and scrubbing. And my husband's like, who cares? Like, just leave it. It's fine. And I'm like, it's gross looking. I don't want it there. So anyway, I asked him to bring some rubbing alcohol when he comes back today so I can try to scrub it off a little better. The other thing that happened yesterday is one of the nursing staff came in to review with us the birth certificate information. So right before I went in for my surgery, I filled out a paper that was basically like a draft of a birth certificate, so all the info that they needed, but I like hand wrote it all on there with his name, and obviously I didn't know everything about him, like I didn't know his birth weight and things like that, but all of our information. We're in the state of Florida, so I think that different states have different requirements for what's on the birth certificate, but they ask for information about mom and dad and my maiden name and birthplace and things like that. So the hospital staff brought in their laptop and reviewed all of what those details that I had filled out on that form. And then they just had me review everything and sign it, because if there's anything incorrect, there's like a process and a fee to get it updated and fixed. So basically I had to do that. And then I actually already got an email from them, from the like Florida Department of Vital Statistics, that they received our request. So I got that email this morning, and I got like a little letter with instructions of how to pick up the actual birth certificate as well as the social security card. So that was already submitted. So I can get the birth certificate as early as I think Tuesday. Probably could have done Monday if it wasn't holiday, but for us that's July 5th, so it's a federal holiday since 4th of July is on a Sunday. And they said the social security card will come in the mail in 6 weeks. And the birth certificate, we picked up Weston's when we had him in person, but I think this time I'm just going to do the online request, which costs like a little bit extra, but it's only like $5, so I think it's well worth it to not have to juggle and go out into the world to pick it up. It wasn't bad when we did it, but it wasn't the most seamless process, so I'm like, why not just do it online and have it come to me? So we've got that, some papers from that. Another thing that happened, but kind of didn't happen, so it's not kind of a no news thing, is there are newborn photographer people who come around, and they're associated with the hospital. It's like their own company. They're called Baby Face Portraits, but we had them with Weston, and it was great because they do a great job. They like set up the baby. They're really good with working with babies, like getting them to shush and look super cute and like swaddle them into adorable positions, and they bring props, and like you really don't need to do or have anything, and it's a great experience, and you get some really nice looking photos out of it. They came while we were in the NICU yesterday, so we didn't get to talk to them or anything, but they left kind of the packet with pricing and whatnot. And there was one letter in there that says NICU parents specifically. So we're going to see about, if there might be a chance to do those. Right now, Quinn is on a lot of monitors and has all kinds of cords on him and everything, and so he's pretty well tethered to his little warming bed in the NICU, so I don't know if it's going to actually be a possibility for us to get those photos before we leave the hospital or what, but we'll figure that out. It's just another thing I thought I'd mention that kind of happens throughout the Throughout your postpartum experience at the hospital, or at least at this hospital. I'm sure everyone's different. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for updates. One other thing I just wanted to note is that I'm definitely producing a lot more colostrum per pump. So, I mean, this is a pretty small container. It's not like a normal sized one. But this right now, this was only from one side. It's like a little under 10, maybe like 8 milliliters, which is not a lot. But that's one side. And then the other side, I think I had about the same, which is excellent. So when I combine them and bring them over to the NICU for them to store for when baby's ready to start having some food, that'll be really good. I decided I'm going to make a separate video about this exclusive pumping journey from birth because that's been really different for me, and I think it might be helpful for people to know what to expect if that's going to be part of your journey as well. And you probably are not going to know that in advance, but there's a lot of downtime while you are recovering, and I think that every person's different, and probably some people are going to be like in the NICU 99% of the time, but for me, I really need to just keep getting rest, especially since I have a toddler at home as well. I want to make sure that I'm healing as much and as quickly as possible for him so that I am not completely useless with helping with him and our 2 dogs at home as well. In addition to being able to take care of our new baby boy. So, I'm really trying to focus on getting well myself as well, while our infant is healing and on his journey as well. So that's what's going on today. As you can see, I think my demeanor is a lot better than it has been. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just, kind of going with the flow and at peace with everything, and we're just taking it not even a day at a time. It's more like an hour at a time, or maybe a couple hours at a time. So it's all good, but we'll keep you updated. I just had to pop on real quick and say I'm having contractions now. And I'm not sure if I feel them now because I'm not on as heavy of medicine or what's going on, but contractions definitely can happen. I mean, are expected to happen when you're breastfeeding as part of your postpartum experience, to contract and get your uterus back down to size, since it was just so huge with the baby inside of it. And it's normally not nearly that big, so it takes a lot of time and effort to get it back down to size. But I don't think I ever had a contraction with either of my pregnancies. They were both scheduled C-sections, so I never went through that. But I just gotta say that, wow, I just had one 20 minutes ago, and I just had another one, and I didn't know what it felt like, and now I think I do. I'm about 95% sure that's what that was. But pretty strong, and my nurse who was just in here was telling me that they get worse with every pregnancy, or I should say more intense with each pregnancy, because the muscle has been stretched, and so it kind of can stretch more and everything. So yeah, interesting, but thought I'd pop in and share. Hey mamas. Well, it is discharge day. It's Saturday. And so I've now stayed one more overnight than I did when I had Weston here at the hospital. I didn't really need to ask like if I could stay an extra day. For our c-section patients, it's pretty much either 2 nights or 3 nights, whereas I think vaginal delivery, it's either 1 night or 2 nights. So it was 3 nights for us, and they definitely just kind of had that in their plan when they knew that Quinn was in the NICU. So I know I didn't do much check-in yesterday, so let me just talk about some of the things that happened. Quinn's doing well in the NICU. He finally started getting fed yesterday, so they're tube feeding him directly into his stomach, and that makes him very happy. They're giving him my breast milk, or colostrum. I'm pumping still multiple times a day. I think yesterday I pumped like 8 or 9 times. So today I'll be doing the same. I don't know what time I'm going to be discharged, but I think that my doctor's office has been doing their rounds like right around lunchtime, so probably somewhere in there. I'll have to get my act together and get out of here. So it's 7:15 right now. I had to get up several times throughout the night to pump and bring that milk over to the NICU, so hopefully they have a good supply that they're able to keep feeding him. They're feeding him every 3 hours. What else? Yesterday for me, I passed gas in terms of my recovery. Had a bowel movement, which, is probably TMI, but it's a big deal after you have a baby when that first occurrence is. So it was not bad, thankfully. I'm on stool softeners among my pain medication as well. I will say that my incision has gotten, I think, more painful. I don't know, maybe it's in my head. I experienced some bleeding in it early this morning. I don't know why. Maybe I'm moving too much. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna have the doctor check it out today, but it's not a great feeling. I've also had a few more contractions, definitely, as my uterus continues to go down to size. Like I said, I'm pumping all the time, and I think that's what has been triggering the contractions, is me pumping, which is normal. Oh, another thing I wanted to talk about is that I think my milk is coming in, but it's not quite milky. It still looks yellow, like still looks yellow tinted, whereas breast milk is usually more blue tinted. I mean, it can be different colors too, but it's still kind of on the thicker side, so I think it's kind of partial colostrum, partial milk, but my boobs are engorged and huge and uncomfortable and rock-like, and I'm trying to kind of massage them while I'm pumping to work out some of that milk. It is not the best. It hurts a little bit, but having milk come in is a very good thing for my baby. So I'm excited for that. Especially since I haven't been able to offer him the breast yet. So I'm looking forward to doing that eventually. In terms of timing, I don't know when I'm going to be discharged today, but my plan is basically to grab all my stuff and head over to the NICU and kind of start my camp out there. I'm going to be going home. I'm going to be sleeping at home at night. So not sure what time we're going to be kind of trucking back and forth, but we have Weston at home too. Mike's taking care of him. Also, our doggies are coming home today, so there's a lot going on today. It's Saturday, so there's no school for Weston to be in, so he is with Mike at home now. And I think our plan is that he still takes one nap a day, so Weston will have a nice little daddy son half day to make up for all the time he's been without us. I know he's been really missing us, and we've been missing him also as well, obviously. So I think they're gonna play together, and then go pick up the doggies from the boarding place, and then go to have lunch together and then take a nap. So Weston usually has a nap right after lunchtime, and then when he wakes up, then they'll come to the hospital. So Weston is allowed to be a visitor for me, which is like a newly relaxed rule, I guess. Since the pandemic started, they weren't allowing minors, but now they are. So he can be a visitor for me, but he cannot be a visitor for Quinn. So I guess he's not going to meet him until Quinn comes home, unfortunately. But it's gonna be tough to manage having Weston here, because one of us has to stay with him. So only Mike or I will be able to visit Quinn in the NICU until I'm discharged. Then when I'm discharged, we'll probably put all of my stuff in the car, kind of my excess stuff at least, and probably leave some things in Quinn's area, maybe. I'm not sure yet. I also don't know if they're going to be transferring him. Right now he's in kind of an open room with a few different babies, and they have some private rooms, so I don't know if they're planning to transfer him or what's going on. But I think that's all for now. We'll keep you updated.